Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well. We're here to pick the bones out of the press conference, just making the final notage there, and then we'll get stuck into it. Quite interesting. A bit of information in there. We'll go through it all. Obviously, the main takeaways for sure. Big Largy chat in there as well. Why is he not being taken? Why is he not be playing, etc. So we'll get stuck into that as well. Interested to see what you're saying. Obviously, I can imagine because obviously silent majority, vocal minority will be saying Farke's chatting shit. Largy's this, Largy's that. It is what it is. We know what's coming before it's already coming. But I hope you're all well. It's been a lovely day today. It's very nice. Very nice. Thank you for everyone that watched the pre-match Middlesbrough thoughts. Thank you for doing so. That's done really well. So much gratitude for that. Fortaventura White, more BS from Farke. What was the BS? Come on, work harder, do more. Let's get into it, right? We'll get into that. Non-negotiables. We'll see. Joe is early for a change. I am. Happy clappers unite. We are here. Oh, Darren, why? Who did he call out? What did he call out? Farke's chatting shit since day one, bitches. Joe, there was 99%. Yeah, don't go on that. I don't even watch that. I don't even have the live chat up anymore. It's madness. So why did Farke not drop Mez after Sunderland away? Make it make sense. He didn't because he believed in him. That's why. And he didn't have what he felt was probably another option at the time that was of a sufficient level. That's just his prerogative, right? We can agree, disagree, and all that jazz. But we'll get into it, and you can tell me he's best. We can get into it. Let's do it. I think the Ramazani calls us so loud due to how poor Solomon has been. Potentially, yes. But he put Schmidt there, right? So why? And we'll get into that. No, I didn't chastise players because they already know they made a mistake. That's true. If you believe him saying, when asked a question, no. He's not, though, has he? He's not. Asked a question, why didn't you use Largy? He's been a bit weak in his duels of late. That's it. And I'll tell you the reason why I think he's been dropped. Not that I agree, but the reason as to why. Because it came out in a roundabout way, and I'll give you my opinion on it. But if you think that's calling out, then what are we doing here? Ramazani is not running enough like headless chicken. Well, why, Brian? Because you want him to play. And you're right, and obviously the manager knows, so that must be why. Come on. Do better, man. Do better. One Largy, 8 a little lazy, 2 Boba good, 3 kick to 3 lots of cover for Strout, 4. You can talk about the card for 20 minutes. There you go. Stream over. Finish. Are we suggesting other players have done well in duels? No, we're not suggesting that. This is where we've taken one thing he said, and I'll give you the duel that he's referring to, whether you agree, disagree, right? We'll get into that. But what we're doing is, from him saying one thing, yeah, we've then gone through with a fine-tooth comb every single duel won. I've seen all the stats and I don't read it. Oh, well, he's won so many duels. He's not talking specific. Like, come on. We get it. We all want Largy to feature, myself included. But we don't have to go and analyse and say that he's bullying certain man and being that. Because guess what? In the presser, just then, he called out Solomon, Tanaka, and Nonto. Where's the outcry? How dare he? What are you doing? You are racist, Daniel. Do you know all this stuff? It's crazy. Laura, exactly, Laura. That's the bit that got him dropped. That's the bit. Now, whether or not you agree, disagree, and I think it's harsh, but this is literally the one, because he gave us even more reasons as to why that was the one. So when we lost to Swansea, he came off the pitch and he was pissed with Larger because of a specific thing that happened in the game. And that's why he didn't get used. He even said me and him have spoken this week. So it's a case of, as I said to you about the man management and all that sort of stuff, probably Largy's come up to him. What more do I need to do? He said, we've had conversations in training this week. Why? We'll get into it all, but this is the main crux. Yeah, no, Sheza, again, that's what I'm saying, but let's get into it anyway, because we're going round in circles. Yes, yeah, we have, blah, 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 blah. But we're going round in circles, aren't we? We're going round in circles, and it's because it's Larger. If right, so Nonto played in the 10, Nonto lost the ball. Why aren't you fuming with Farke for mentioning that? Al Tanaka's been our best player in this campaign, I would argue. He also dug him out today. Why are you not criticising that? It's because it's Larger, and he's not playing, and he should be playing, and all that job. Yeah, it's always the next thing. Like, it was interesting what he said about Joseph, that he was still going to use Bamford anyway. Let's not forget, a couple of months ago, we were having these same debates about Joseph, and he might not even get in the matchday squad at the weekend, you know? So, you know, we can go around in circles, but we'll go into it, and I'll give you my opinion. That's what it's there for, and then we can have a little back and forth. I know you all disagree with, well, majority of you disagree with me in a minute, and that's fine. No, yeah, exactly, Rzinski. Exactly, but it is what it is. I get it, because we're not winning games of football. And can he give us that extra bit of magic? Yes. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And I agree with what people are saying. Yes, Mr. Dodo, agreed. I was buzzing for you when you got your call out on Square Ball the other day as well, my man. Right. Mate, if you know Ball, you know he played Schmidt and Byram. We wanted None to start, and look what happened. He caused a goal. Yeah, well, yeah. What do you mean he caused the goal in terms of it went the other way? I don't know. The blame is to go to Farke without a number 10 and Aronson not good enough apart from 9 goals. Yeah. Nice. Right, let's get into it. Yeah, the counter was caused by him. I got dug out for mentioning that, but yeah. Let's just see what Sean says. What about this, Joe, lad? I believe we'll lose. No, mate, I'm not getting into your bets or all like that. Just give 20 anyway. Right, okay, let's get stuck into it. Right, we'll go. Let's just turn the chat off for a second so I can concentrate on what's being said. Okay, so Farke, everything is okay. We are all training after the press conference, late training, so that we have a closer time to when we're going to play. Because obviously tomorrow we kick off at 8 o'clock, so that's the way that Farke obviously works. Is we're going to train later, come in later, because we're kicking off on an evening kickoff. One is a couple of question marks. One is Joe Rothwell. He has a calf injury, probably out for the Easter weekend, so we might see Rothwell after Easter Monday, which is 2 games at that point. So Farke hopes he'll be back for the last 2 games. Strauch will miss the next 2 game weeks. He had a knock on his foot. The fear is that he has a little fracture, which means the season could be over, but he needs an assessment. That's not great, is it? Thankfully, Vauber's back, right? Asked about midfield and defence options. Rothwell not being available doesn't help. Obviously, Ethan is a really good option. Max is back available, but has been out for many weeks and had only 1 week of full training. He's available for a short-term appearance. Byram has played there. Gulavogui will find some solutions. So, based on that, actually, you might see Ampadu drop back into defence, and then you're probably going to have a midfield 2 of Guruev and Tanaka, I'd imagine, away at Middlesbrough, because no Rothwell being available. With him saying that Vauber is available, but short-term appearance. Does that mean 190 or does that mean just 45 minutes or whatever? I'm not too sure. So it'll be interesting. Ideally, I prefer us not to have to switch out that midfield. What that means as well for me, and I know people won't want to hear it, but this is how I believe the manager will do it. If Ampadu does drop back into centre back, Aronson will go back in the 10. I think because I think he'll feel less secure without Ampadu and Tanaka in their midfield positions. Just my opinion. I know people disagree, but even still, I think he was quite nice towards Nonto as well in the presser, to be honest. Even though he called him out for losing the ball, etc., but said, look, it was harsh. First time back in new role, etc., etc. So he's going to be interested actually in the lineup. If Ethan is a really good option at centre back, who then goes in midfield? Well, we've only got and Gulliver. I know he mentioned Gulliver, but seeing him against Harrogate, no. I don't want to see him up against Illing Jr., Iheanacho, Hayden Hackney, fucking, what's his face? Oh, not Scott Twine. Who is it who's just scored 12? I forgot his name. But yeah, they're a good side going forward. But I mean, defensively patched up. I won't lie to you. Defensively patched up. Because Johnny Howson's playing centre-back. 36. We need to create chances against them. But he says Byram's played there as well. Gulliver, we'll find some good solutions. Put it to you. Who would you like to see in at centre-back? I assume it's Ampadu, but then are you okay with a Tanaka and Gruev midfield? It's interesting. Bamford, he was asked about Bamford. Listen, he's not ready to start, but I would start him. I'm on that train. He said in the last 25 minutes he played very well. It was beneficial. It wouldn't be natural, though, to put him straight away into the starting lineup. I did like his movements. He was involved in one or two dangerous scenes. To have him available is always important. So, again, I think we'll see Bamford be involved, but not till later on. I think you might be looking at Pirro and Aronson again, just depending on what that midfield is. I'm not too sure, folks. It's going to be interesting to see what that lineup is going to be, actually, come 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But, yeah, Bamford will be used. But when? Late in the second half, you'd imagine. On Joseph, because he had illness, he said he was back in training yesterday. Interested to see, though, what happens with Joseph if he makes the matchday squad, because he did say that that Bamford's been training for 4 weeks and was going to be used anyway, was an option. So interested to see what happens there with Joseph. Spoke about Middlesbrough. If we're ourselves, we will be successful. Middlesbrough, a really good side. We have to make sure we are structured and defend well, which we do. They have some great players. Hayden Hackney, Iheanacho's good at this level. Samuel Illing Jr. was playing Champions League football before going back to Borough, and now he's there again. So, yeah, they're a good side, Borough. They're flying. Let's not forget, a couple of weeks ago, they lost 5 on the spin. So, they are streaky. This is the Championship. They are not a team that we should fear. Not least because we've won the last 5 league games. We've scored over 3 in the last 4 games there as well. I'm quite confident that if we go into it and we can finish our chances, that we will see a high-scoring game and Leeds will come out on the other side of it. Farke was asked, on the table. He said, we're sitting on 82 points with 6 games left. Last season, we got 90. My football doesn't rely on draws. My football is made for winning games, and I am just happy when we win games. But there is a difference between being not happy and slaughtering a team after a draw. We know that if we win our games, due to Burnley playing Sheffield United, we know that we are in the Premier League. And this is facts, right? If we win our next 6, do I think we will? No, I don't. We need to win 1 away. We definitely need to win 1 away. And hopefully that comes Tuesday night, tomorrow. And then we need to win them 3 home games that we have left. And I think that's enough. Is it? I don't know. 3, 6, 9, 12. That'll put you on 94. Be there or thereabouts. Because Burnley, basically, we had to win every home game and get points away, right? We drew that one against Swansea. That's what killed us. That was a worse result than fucking Luton, if I'm honest. If we then beat Borough and then can win them 3 remaining home games, I think we'll be all right. And that's Preston, that's Stoke. And I forget the other one. Is it Bristol City? Preston, Stoke, Bristol City, maybe. And then we just need to get a win away from home to usurp that draw at home against Swansea, in my humble opinion. On staying cool, he was asked about that because obviously Chris Wilder's gone mad at Sheffield United fans for booing them. So it's not just our fan base that loses their head at time. He said it's a crunch time of the season. When you are involved in a promotion race, it's quite often that after the game there are emotions. It's important that the fire also burns. If it's burning over the line, that's not a problem, but we stay calm. You have to keep nerves and stay calm and cool. My football doesn't rely on draws, which we've spoken about. Sometimes the point can be available. We know we can win our games, then we'll be in the Premier League. He said the supporters are the most emotional and best supporters in the country. What should they do after a draw? Then you hear Burnley win and the frustration over that. And you can overreact, which I think a lot of us have overreacted, in my opinion. But, you know, fans have to fan, right? Fans have to fan. That's why we've been all good in charge of the football club, running of the football club, because fans should fan. But Farke says they have to be there for my players. And this is where it like flicks, because obviously people saying, oh, he's called out larger because he said he's not been good in the duels. He also said, I can think, Mano, why didn't you score that chance? One thing on that, why does everyone keep mentioning 60k as well? Like 60k? Like, they don't do it with any other player. Any other player. He also mentions Willie Nonto losing the ball high up the pitch, and also mentions how Adebayo just bodies Tanaka. So he mentioned them three. Where's the outcry? Why aren't we saying you're bullying them? You know, do you hate Asian people? Do you hate Japanese people? Do you hate Italians? You know, he's just done that there. It's the same thing, but there's not the outcry. It's just interesting. He said, I was brought in to bring some coolness. That's what I give, and I protect my players. Now, on Ramazani, because Graham Smith, he's got his finger on the pulse, and Graham Smith knows what everyone wants. Poppy works for the BBC. Graham Smith's like, listen, I know what everyone want to know. They want to speak about Largy. So, Farke said this. He said, we all love Largy. He had to be patient at the start of the season. No one can blame him for his injury. He's a confident and mood player and takes risky situations. It's important when you come in during a crunch time of the season that you are reliable. There are a few things that for me are non-negotiable. Right? Okay. That could be running. That could be pressing. That could be, you know, not being risk averse, you could argue. Being risk averse. Yeah. At times, making sure we protect the ball, keep it moving, keep it with the white shirt. Not trying something like, and he mentioned about like a no-look pass or something like that gets the fans off the feet, but in that moment, is it the right thing to do? Just move the ball on. But he says, this isn't just about large, he says, but you should invest more in terms of running and energy. If it's less, that is not what you want, more or less. That this is not negotiable. Then to be strong and reliable. We know Largy has the capacity to get fans off their seats. If you lose focus and lose the ball, and this is why he was not brought on, in my opinion. Not saying I agree, but this is where the manager goes, and I went, that's why because you were pissed at him for that. So he mentions the moment, which I referred to previously, where he was on the left, he beats a man, he comes inside and he loses the ball. I remember on the watch along going, oh, fuck. Yeah, we're all frustrated. He loses the ball. He then says, Tanaka then fouls and gets a yellow card. He has to take a tactical foul because Ramazani has lost the ball, right? And again, not saying I agree with this as justification for him not getting minutes in the last game. I'm not. I'm just telling you what Farke said. And this, for me, has irked the manager to the point where he's gone, you're not coming on in the next game. You piss me off. I'm going to let people know you piss me off, and then you're going to show me. And I'm certain that Largy will come off the bench against Middlesbrough. You will see a different Largy Ramazani against Middlesbrough. That there, for me, is when we talk about man management. You disagree? That is fine. Okay? But he then mentioned that because Tanaka had taken the professional foul, the yellow, in the earlier move, he then couldn't take a yellow when Swansea scored their equalising goal. He said because then he couldn't go in as hard later on in the match and they score the goal. And he said that's not what you want to see. Now, I don't agree with that as a reason for him not playing, but what that shows me is the managers looked at that and gone, If he wouldn't have lost the ball there, Tanaka wouldn't have had to take a yellow, and that goal that we conceded, Tanaka would have been able to straighten his man out and take the yellow at that point. However, if he'd done it, he'd have got a second yellow. So he couldn't. So he couldn't go full-blooded into the challenge. Now, whether you agree or disagree, but that is a manager being highly strung. That is a manager being frustrated in a game and blaming someone for it, right? And he's blamed largely in that moment. That's the only explanation. Well, that's my explanation as to why that he's gone. Do you know what? You've pissed me off. Whether you agree or not, it is what it is. But that's what I took from that, hearing that. As I'm listening, I'm going, that's why you've dropped him. Now, whether you agree or disagree on that decision, that's just my opinion. For him to go into that mind, you know, he comes in, boom, he loses it, Tanaka has to take a yellow. That then means Tanaka can't, in the 90th minute, take a yellow at that point, so he gets sent off and they score from it. So ultimately, I think it's unfair that Largy, he's probably getting blame for that. You know what I mean? So, here's what it is. Now, he did go on to say Largy is an emotional player. We are not angry with him. Just a few things he has to learn, and he can have a big impact. We spoke about this. So he said we spoke about that this week as well. You have to show this on the training pitch. By doing this, you earn the right to earn more minutes. So again, he's asking more from him on the training pitch also. Largy is 100% aware, and it's up to him to show me he has the right to play and possibly come back into the starting 11. So again, it's a call to arms. So they've had a conversation. Now, I get people wanting to play, but you've got to earn your right to play. The manager's saying there, he hasn't earned his right to play. Now, you've probably seen on Twitter, my good friend Luke, because someone actually tagged me in something on Twitter and said, oh, this coach said this. So I just thought I'd have a look. What have coaches said previously about Largy Ramazani, right? And again, it's just to give some context, right? So a previous coach, Jose Gomez, who was his coach at Almeria after his departure from Manchester United, described him as an energetic and dynamic player with a playful, mischievous personality. Gomez likened him to the kid in the family who was always up to something, noting his grace and vibrancy. He also mentioned having to discipline Ramazani at times to instill maturity in his game, such as sending him to the B team to redefine his decision-making. Despite this, Gomez praised his ability to do spectacular things and cause problems for defenders, indicating his raw talent and flair. Gazigo Garitano, another Almeria coach, took a more reserved stance in 2024, so last year, when addressing Ramazani's lack of playing time ahead of the match against Sevilla. Garitano suggested there were underlying issues, stating it's the players who have to come out here and give the explanations, implying that Ramazani's absence might have been due to personal or behavioural factors rather than solely tactical decisions. This hints at a complex dynamic, possibly reflecting challenges in managing the young wingers' development. So, and again, Farke's almost said something similar in that we know how good Largy can be. He's also said Largy is 100% aware, and it is up to him to show he has the right to play and possibly come back into the starting 11. That is a call to arms from the manager saying, show me. These people, again, I've not got the chat, but I know there's been a lot of opinions on, well, it's bad man managing calling out your players. It's bullshit. There are thousands upon thousands of scenarios where managers have called out players. They do it in public. I gave some examples just yesterday on the stream. A few people said, oh, I hadn't thought about it like that. But it happens all the time. It's different strokes for different folks. He probably knows now, the manager, that he will get a different Largy. The fact that he's had to be sent down to the B team previously with another manager to add maturity to his game. Maybe, and there is that little bit of maturity as well when you talk about in that moment when he decided to take that man on. Great, he did the right thing, then move it on, but then lost the ball. And that's what really irked Farke. Now, I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just giving you Farke's thoughts. That's what I took from it. Because he mentioned him losing the ball, Tanaka having to take the yellow, and then he couldn't go in on the late. Now, I think it's up there, but that's why for me, he didn't come on. He's then proceeded. He was asked a question, by the way. Let's not forget this. He was asked a question and he answered. Didn't like his work in duels. And that was that moment when he lost the ball. I don't think he's saying categorically over the course of the season he doesn't win duels. I mean, the Tacticos have already gone through every little duel and said he's won the most duels ever. And Aronson always loses duels. Well, yeah, you've got to factor in loads of different things like minutes played and all that sort of stuff. But hey ho, it is what it is. I don't think he was saying blanket over the course of the season he just loses duels. It was more that specific moment that the manager was clearly irked with. He's probably not been putting it in training. That's what the manager's telling us. And he wants more from him. Now, whether you agree or disagree with that decision, ultimately, Farke makes the decisions at Leeds United right now. So Largy has to hear that and get himself back into it. Because let's not forget, Largy was starting. Then Largy was on the bench, coming on ahead and on tour. How is it that Largy can go from being the first sub or starting to then going behind Schmidt? There's something happened there. That isn't because Farke just dislikes him all of a sudden. Something has happened where he's gone, yeah, nah, come on. And we're in a position where we've got 6 games to ensure promotion. Can he, in the manager's eyes, he doesn't think in this moment in time that he's reliable enough to know that he'll do the right things on the pitch. And that's what it boils down to. Because look, the manager mentioned about, he mentioned some skill, I can't remember it now, but he said about the no-look pass, etc. Yeah, that's amazing, but do it in the right moments. Let's not forget, he was also frustrated last season at Rutter when he was doing skills that for him were unnecessary. But that's that. And that's largely boxed off. Boom. He was asked about tiredness within the team as well, fatigue and stuff. And he said, look, I'm not a big believer in speaking about tiredness because if you speak about it, then you can feel it. It's an out, isn't it? Like, I get what he's saying there. Like, what's that? Like, misery likes company. There's something else as well, though. If you say something so much, you start to believe it about yourself, right? Like a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm tired. Oh, you're tired. Yeah, I'm actually tired. Do you know what I mean? So he's saying if you actually speak about it too much, then you feel it. He said Jadon Anthony, he mentioned him, has played every game, but he scored a brace at the weekend. He's not tired. So I get it. He said, I don't like speaking about players who haven't scored due to tiredness. It's not like many of my players have played 40 games this season. Set piece takers without Rothwell, which is an issue because Solomon was shit at him. He did say we have Manor Solomon, Dan James, Gruever's taken a lot. Max Vauberry's also a candidate. It depends who's on the pitch and who is available. It's not like we have just a number one. It is when Rothwell's on the pitch. Outside of that, everyone else is dead. Let's be honest. Seems like it's been like that for Leeds United for a long time. On lack of clean sheets away of late as well. Remember, we've conceded first in the last 4 away games, I think. He said it is something we have addressed. So we've spoken about it. We were 1 chance away at Luton from being rock solid. We have to be even better. We have to make sure in the next game that we don't give away 1 chance. I think we will give up chances against Middlesbrough. He said if we return back to the dressing room, we know we have a great chance to return with all 3 points, if not 1. I liked our defending in the last game, which I did as well. But we allowed a counter-attack in the first half, and we have to allow Middlesbrough not even 1. And it was just 1 counter-attack, wasn't it? It was just 1 counter-attack. And I haven't been able to look at the image of the players, but I've just been listening to Leeds that, and I think it was Rocco said, like, Solomon, Nonto, others hadn't tracked the runners back. I mentioned that at the time. I'm like, Firpo, and he looks over his shoulder. He goes in towards Asgard. It's there for, and I probably was harsh on Firpo at the time. It's there for Isaiah Jones to put it in the back of the net. But where were the 3 Leeds players tracking them 3 Luton players that came running into the box? They were nowhere. And I think Rocco mentioned it was Solomon, Nonto, and someone else. I can't remember. But yeah, he's got a great point. Like, where was the desire for them to, oh shit, get back into the box? So that needs to not happen. We need to not give ourselves own goals, as it were. That's the press conference in a nutshell, though. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Check. I don't know what list that is. Sorry. Vauber and Rodon can work. On Vauber, he said that he's not quite fit enough to start. He'll have a small feature. Solomon must play or come off the bench. I think he'll start with Solomon. Oh, Joe, I just turned it off, bro, because it's the same heads taking shots and all that, and I can't be arsed with it, really, truth be told. You come for my content, I give you my content. I do think I'm pretty open and all that, but I feel like at this moment in time, there's people being abrasive for the sake of being abrasive. It is what it is. But it's fine. And as I've said, they will be. I will have my day in the sun. Comments on Largy losing ball, but Aronson being dispossessed. Was that? Yeah. Again, you have to apply context in terms of amount of minutes, etc., position, etc., what Aronson gives him. But again, he's not. It's on about that one specific moment. I think it's crazy for me, Jamie. Genuinely, I'm speaking like from the heart here to you. Whatever the manager says at this moment in time, right? Again, I've turned chat on because I don't want to get into a to and fro. Whatever the manager says at this moment in time, you will come for. You have an answer for. People have an answer for. So you don't lose duels. Oh, and then everyone's gone and find every single player that wins more duels. All because Largy's not playing. If this conversation was about, I don't know, Pat Bamford, would it be the same? You know, you talk about energy all the time. I just think the readiness to say that Farke is wrong. Farke is wrong. He's wrong because Largy's not playing and Largy's amazing. So he's saying he's lost the ball. Right. But then you're right. Well, so's Aronson. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But again, I don't agree, but he's talking about that one specific moment, right? He's talking about that one specific moment. Obviously, Aronson conceded as a goal against Coventry. Yeah, 100%. I think this is my take on it. I think the business end of the season, he's brought Largy onto the pitch to add something. And in the manager's eyes, he's give away a ball that's meant Tanaka's took a yellow, which has then presided. I know, it's whatever that wording is, like 30 degrees of separation or whatever. But it's the timing, it's the stage we're at the season, and also it's training, which none of us see. But the manager's telling us he's not doing enough. That, for me, should be enough for you as a fan to say, okay, the player's not doing enough. The player that plays for my football club is not doing enough in training. Sort your shit out. But instead, it's no, the manager must be lying. And here's some stats to prove that he doesn't. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm going to jump back into the chat. Same energy from who? The manager. The manager's not a fucking fan, bro. What are we talking about? The same manager. You can say I can't have it. I'm just explaining. And what I won't do is lose my shit with the manager because he's not playing X player. Who when has come on hasn't who hasn't set the world alight when he's come on. Great earlier in the season though. He got a foot injury in the last game. Rather, Farke took accountability with having to expose it. Didn't play because my idea was this or that. It didn't work because of this and that. He was asked a question, and he's called out his player. Not because he dislikes him. It's probably a ploy to get the player to do more. Vega, this happens all the time. You know that, bro. I think this whole thing of him calling out Like, it's driving me a little bit potty. Honestly, it is. It's driving me a little bit potty. Why people are talking as though it doesn't happen. It's like he's been bullied. And we go, it doesn't happen. It's not. It should stay behind closed doors. It's bullshit. I love you, Vega, man. You know that. But it was. Yeah. I'm just having a look now at some scenarios. I just thought I'd just check, and you can see Mourinho with Ricardo Carvalho, Ferguson with Ronaldo, Redknapp with Tarat, Ten Hag, Sancho, Amorim, Marcus Rashford, Clough, Jemson. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's not something new, but because it's Ramazani, it's almost like we've never known this before. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and I think that's fair as well. Farke criticises people. We are allowed to too. It's a way of life. The money and time invested in this club as a hard-working fan with everything the club has stated, we shouldn't be fair mates. But yeah, but not even talking about that though, Mate. I'm not even talking about what position we are in the league. Of course, you can criticise the manager. Crack on. I've not once said you can't or think people are mad for doing that. I think the discourse around Largy and his decision not to play Largy has gone too far. And no matter what the manager says now, it's twisted in a way. Of course, mate, if we don't go up, it is an absolute catastrophic crumble, throwing the ball away of the highest order. And Farke will only have himself to blame for backing Melia. It's a crazy decision. Crazy decision. And he'll rightfully go at the end of the season. But for me, we're still going to do it. For me, we're still going to do it. No, I'm not though. I'm not. And if I am, that's fine. I'll stand on this island on my own. I don't care. Because I don't go on what the general consensus is. I go on what my opinion is in that moment in time. Just like we called out Jesse, just like we stuck to the end with Bielsa. And I believe that this man who we have in charge will get us back to the Premier League. I do believe that. However, if we don't this season, he'll be sacked and that's fine. But you've got to remember, the vocal minority are the ones. This is just a fact of life. I get many messages after streams. I had a couple from yesterday's saying, look, thank you, ba 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 bam. You were right about ba 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 bam. But people don't get involved in the chat. Not everybody does that. That's fine. So, but even if I was, it's what I believe in, right? It's what I believe in right now. Is that the manager is making the right decisions. Yes, some of them are questionable, but on the whole, he's making the right decisions. And I still believe that Leeds United can get promoted and will get promoted. We might not win the league, which again is not good enough, especially from where we were at. But in all honesty, as I said, I don't care for the league. I did think we'd get a 10-point gap, etc., but I don't really care. Like if we finish second, but you said you got a 10-point, I don't care. We got promoted. I just want to be out of this God-forsaken hellhole of the league. I just want gone. It is. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I think the discourse is a bit mad. So right, okay. So you think he's not poor in training? You think the manager's lying to you then? That's basically what you're saying, Matt. You think the manager has just said to you that he's been poor in training and he's lying then? That's what you're saying. And then I can't help you with your opinion on your stance on that. There is no response for me to give that. I can't have a conversation with you, bro, about that if you think the manager's lying. And therefore so with that in mind then, Matty, why isn't he using him then? What's the explanation then? If he's lying to everybody, which I think's mad, mate, but if he's lying to everybody and he is mint in training, why isn't he selecting him then? Why would he turn to Schmidt ahead of him? Honestly, I can't help you if you think that the manager's coming in presses and lying. Again, we talk about man management when he's talking about Mez being the best keeper in the league. He boosted Mez in that moment in time, whether you agree or disagree with him. He boosted Mez in that moment in time, and the stats backed it up. You know? Just that he needs to do more in training, mate. Yeah, tell me about it, Eva. Tell me. And you have every reason to be nervous, mate. 100%. 100%, Jamie, you have. I disagree. People are stuck upon the larger situation. Otherwise, we won't be having this conversation. When does he contradict himself by saying that I don't call my putt, but then calling one out? Okay, yeah, okay, constantly. He contradicts himself, right? Okay, but it is about larger, bro. Let's be honest. I believe Joe just don't want to be nice. Still will have them, mate. Still will have them. Still will have them. Yeah. Connor, yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, I've said that. This is what I mean. Like, people just think that Farke can do no wrong. I've criticised him many times. I hope you've answered my question about him lying, by the way, Matty. We can have a conversation, me and you. We've said we will at some point. So I hope you've answered my question about you think he's a liar before I even read this. If we lose both or draw the next two, would you still Farke and believe him if we go 1-8? For me, it's all contextual, Matty. I've already said I believe that there is a conversation to be had at the end of the season if we get promoted. Even now. Didn't believe that in February when we were knocking teams out of the park. And when people were suggesting that, I was going, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. Now I think we can have a conversation about it. But if we drew the next two, and it won't happen, but let's say that happens and the others drop the ball, we still might be in the position to go up. So I can't tell you. Do you know what I mean? I can't just say, all right, well, if we draw the next two, because what if they lost them? It's all if buts and maybes, isn't it? When the time is right, Matty, when the time is right for me, I'll say it. When the time is right for me, I will say it. I don't hide away from that fact. You know that. So I want to know about the lies now. Yeah, 100%. Gotta try, Zach. Gotta try. Do you think Solomon is his fave? I don't think he everyone has favourite. We all have favourite kids, man. Probably don't we as well? Although we don't tell them. Just joking. Not everyone has their favourites, but he knows what he's going to get from Solomon. Yeah. what are we doing here, man? Like, right, okay, so what's your point? What's your point? What's your point? Jadon Anthony's shit. He's shit. No, but yeah, so you're implying by saying he lied about Mez, which was his opinion, and it's not really a lie, it's just an opinion. And if it was a lie, it was to boost to probably boost Melier. But what you're saying is by saying Mez was the best and that was a lie, how can we believe that he is telling the truth about Largy? So you're implying that he's lying that Largy isn't poor in training. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. That's what you're implying, I believe. We will go up, by the way. We are 1 win away from going right. So where's your head at then, bro? You've still not told me why you would lie about Largy being... yeah. Well, mate, agendas will agenda. Is he? Is he? Basically, this is where you become a G&A merchant and you see he scored 2 goals at the weekend and he's winning them on his own. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie, Jamie. You've just lied. Maybe you and Farke could be cool. You're liars. Okay. So Anthony, I believe is shit. What do you want me to do? I do. Roberts is good. Never said he was bad. Roberts is good. Good championship right back. You've just made something up. Jadon Anthony's shit. And he's a championship level winger. Right? I know there's people out there that laughed at Burnley for signing him, myself included, and are now saying all of a sudden he's the best thing since sliced bread. You know, be consistent. Roberts I've never criticised. Roberts is good. He couldn't usurp Archie Gray, but he's good. Joe, people like to lie to fit their narrative as hundreds that he could be lying. I've never known a manager ostracise so many players. Like, who's he? Bro, who's he ostracised? Who has he ostracised? Ostracized. To be ostracized. Excluded from a society or group, she was declared a witch and ostracized by the villagers. Ostracized is such a strong word. How has he ostracized Largy Ramazani when he came on as a sub the week before? He doesn't come on in one game and he's ostracized him. Who else has he ostracized? So basically what you're saying is so he's ostracized player who, tell me who is ostracized, and therefore the common denominator is the manager. Who's he ostracized, Matty? Oh! Like my girl Evie says, say it louder for those in the cheap seats. Oh! That is a belter. I want to know who the manager has ostracized. Oh! See, this is where it's silly season, isn't it? Because people are just on a madness. Yeah, but he scored in the Bernabeu. If you believe he's ostracized Shamith, Tanaka, Creswell, you could argue, but Creswell's family also called out the manager. He had to go. He has not ostracized Ramazani. That is crazy. He has not ostracized Schmidt. And he's not ostracized Tanaka. What are you going on about? You've lost your head. I don't know what that means, brother. Anyway, we're on a bit of a madness now. Listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit the notification bell. Thanks as always for watching. I'm gonna voice note Matty now, and Kilgallen, make that comment again, and you're getting blocked, mate. Simple as. If you try to trigger man or out like that, make that comment again, mate, and I'll just block you. It is what it is. Can't be asked for that pointless, brainless, stupid shit. Because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that. So it is what it is. Trying to, Zach. Trying to. Listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Ostracized. Buendia and Cantwell. Okay, what happened with Buendia? What happened with so you're actually right? Okay, so you're giving me examples before Leeds United first and foremost. Who's a lad in Germany? Who is a lad in Germany? Who's the lad in Germany? A lad in Germany, right? Spence. Don't even try and bring up Spence because you and me both know, Matty. My man was refusing to do stuff in the community. And he got sent back, rightly so. Rightly so. Creswell, the context applied to it. Don't think he's good enough, personally. Not good enough on the ball for a Farke centre-back. And also his family called out the manager. The manager's word is the word. He has to do that, right? Largie's not been ostracised. In what world has Largie been ostracised? That would suggest that he's not playing. He came on the game before. Buendia and Cantwell, yes, because of issues. What happened? Buendia came back into the side and smashed it and got moved to Aston Villa. Cantwell, where did he go? Rangers, and now he's at Blackburn. Madness. Farke out now. Get Russell, Martin, Dyche, or even Lampard if possible. Stop with that shit. Anyway, we're going to leave it now, honestly. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in a bit. Love for the love, yeah? Peace out. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.